So, Ville Valo, lead singer of Hymn. Thank you for doing this very much. I appreciate it. Oh, you did the bow.
A pleasure. A pleasure. I'm touched.
So I went through and I have to do a couple icebreakers because I'm so nervous. And I asked the fans online for questions. So the first one that they said was, when you're thinking, do you think in English or Finnish?
Oh, when I'm thinking, it's probably Finglish, somewhere in between. I really don't know. It's depending on how much we travel. When you use, let's say, 89% of the time communicating in English, I don't know in what language I dream, for example. So, I don't know, somewhere in between, I guess.
Oh, that's such a good answer. Okay. So, when you're at home in Finland, and it's snowing, it doesn't snow in California at all, unless you go to Tahoe. Do you make snow angels or snow devils?
Oh, well, usually we tend to be most of the year on tour. When I'm back home, I never want to get ill, sick, get the flu out of like hanging out in the snow too much. But I was thinking of building like a big snowman this year in my yard, just somewhere between a devilish nun or something like that. Snow nun.
Snow nun. Good. Okay. So I knew that Venus Doom was going to be amazing, and it was. Were you surprised at all? I've listened to it.
It is still, hopefully.
It is still, yes. And I've listened to it like 57 times. Mm-hmm. Were you surprised by how it did on the charts in the U.S., though?
Well, we knew that Dark Light, the previous one, did so well. We knew that probably the first week is going okay with the album. Obviously, you're hoping for the best, but the main thing for our band was to do an album that we'd be proud of, which we are. But it's still, we just did to finish up the album in recording and mixing it in May, so it's still fairly new for us as well. So I don't know what to think of it, but obviously it should have been gone to, it should have been number one everywhere, But that's the reason to do the next album, I guess.
We'll do that for you next time.
All right, thank you.
So, the video that you did, Kiss of Dawn. Mm-hmm. So the next one, I understand, is Me Bleed Well. Can you say anything about what the concept is?
The concept is that we're using as little money as we can to do it. So what's happening, we're playing here in San Francisco tonight at the Warfield, and we're driving over now to LA. We're shooting the 2 gigs at LA Orpheum tomorrow and the day after tomorrow for a DVD. And then on the second day of the DVD shoot, we're shooting some extra material for the Bleed Well thing. So it's going to be done by the same guy who did Rip Out the Wings of a Butterfly and The Kiss of Dawn. Mir Davis is his name, and he's doing the live DVD stuff, which is hopefully coming out in February or something like that. And so, to be honest with you, I really don't know. I think there's a couple of hundred fans going to be there. We're just going to play the song a few times, and then they're going to try to edit something out of it, I guess. It's going to be a fairly straightforward live performance.
Good. Now, I remember reading that when you guys were doing Kiss of Dawn, there was a lot of imagery and other things that you used that you weren't able to include. Are you going to be able to use any of that or no, not so much?
Well, there was a lot of stuff, but it usually happens at a video shoot. There's a zillion ideas, and very often it happens that you run out of time, so you actually don't get to shoot that stuff, but that you wanted. But this time around, we got way too much. So maybe we'll use it. Maybe we'll do like a special director's cut of it or something like that one day. But we'll see. We'll see.
I would buy that.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not sure whether I would, but it's just we had one lady there, and we had several ladies there, and they shot a lot of material, but then when they were, at the editing room, it just didn't fit the overall vibe of the song, because it's not a straightforward love song in a sense. It's more about losing somebody than falling head over heels in love. So it just didn't fit the mood. But we'll see what happens.
I can't wait to see it. My biggest question has to do with fans. And when I put out on a bunch of websites that I was going to be able to come and meet you, as I told you, I had people sending me stuff from different states, and I got emails from Russia and Germany and Sweden, and The biggest thing over and over that they said was that it had saved their life, listening to your music. I know for me, it was rough, and my kids introduced me to you guys, and I lost my mind and made it better. They've said things like it makes them feel not alone, it's comforting, it gives them hope, the lyrics fit their hearts, and one girl even said that it made me realize that I can still live and love after feeling all this pain. So for me, just this week, I thought it was so beautiful, but I felt overwhelmed. And I'm just wondering, like, I'm sure you have an outpouring of that whenever you get near a fan. How do you respond to that?
Oh, I usually stop blushing, or I don't know how to react. It's kind of, obviously all the nice words that those people, for example, said, they are exactly the same things that writing music does to me. If I'm not alone with the guitar, and it helps me through a rough day and rough times, and depression or being a bit manic occasionally, and help me through my struggle with the demon alcohol and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of like a beautiful thing to hear, that on that level we are the same. I just write songs, but emotionally, I'm there with them. But it's tough when you haven't met a person before. Start a very in-depth conversation at that, in the first second. Usually there's a bit of foreplay in all kinds of relationships, if you know what I'm saying. You get the time to hang out for a bit, and unfortunately, especially on tour, we're fairly busy, so there's not a lot of time to hang out, and get to know people. So obviously, when people know that, they try to fit all the questions they have in about 30 seconds, and that feels a bit pushy at times, obviously, but we're trying our best. But it's been incredible. It's something that you can't buy with money, or you can't work on, premeditate on building let's say a fan base that would be so dedicated as what we had. We've never, it's, the internet has been, for example, has been great for us. So many people all around the world, they seem to find, they seem to find, like-minded souls and, hearts, all around the world, and if we've been one kick in the ass while doing that, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Well, I just had definitely been told over and over and over again, they love you, they love the band. I love you, but I get to sit right here, and I had people shake my hand knowing that I would be in your presence. So, yay for you. So I have to ask 2 corny questions.
Go for it.
So I just can't leave it, gushing all over you. Standard question. If you kept the coat from Deep Shadows and Brilliant Highlights that has your pretty face going to hell, if you kept it, and where is it?
Oh, the coat. I got it back actually at my house. But I've been losing so much weight, it doesn't fit me anymore. I wore it for a long time, on that tour, and I was thinking of giving it away to somebody, but then it kind of like became, I'm a collector myself. I collect everything, so it just became like a good luck charm. Wearing that, I wore that coat for about a year and a half every day, so I still haven't had, there's no, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Finland yet, so we'll see what happens.
I'm sure they'll fix that. I think it even sparked because some people saw you wearing the rings that you used to wear back then, so they were, where's the coat?
I got the rings with me, but it's just, they're very noisy when you sing into the mic, because they're all silver, they're really heavy, so I got them in the dressing room.
See, that's a badass slice of trivia there. Thank you, friend. Okay, the only other thing was fans were asking about encores and whether or not you do encores. And I know that when you show up, you don't do the sound check because of the hearing, and you tend to just walk in and do your thing. Is it laid out what you're going to do when you go to your shows, and by the time it's over, you're done with it, or is it more of just a spur of the moment thing?
It's both. It's kind of we used to change the set. We used to change the set around a lot, and on this tour we haven't so much because we knew also that we're going to be shooting a DVD, so we want to perfect one great set with all the good songs, and we've been checking out the reaction of the people and asking them, what, is the stuff good? And so we're trying to be the best we can. And but now we've done the same set for about 10, 12 times, so we'll probably keep on changing it bit by bit. Just not make it boring, but encores were originally meant for, let's say, opera acts when the whole performance was so overwhelming and so awesome that the audience is just going to leave the house without hearing something more. And so many bands, let's say 90% out of rock bands, they write down encores in their set lists, so they do that anyway, which kind of it doesn't come from the right place. It's basically we are doing encores if people really go crazy and if they start really, our set, that's the film, that's the movie, that's the main thing for us. We've tried to have the nice drama in the set, and there's a reason why it finishes the way it finishes. But if people start, throwing bottles at our tour manager Tom Fury or something like that, then it could be that we have to play a couple of tunes more.
I'll let everybody know. All right. Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for sitting down. I can't even tell you how many people are going to go nuts over getting to have us all be included in this. So really appreciate it.
Good times. Thank you for having the time to come over. It's good fun.
All right. And we wish you an early happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
And this is my first. I've only seen you at festivals.
So were you at Project Revolution?
Yes, I went to 2 of those, and you looked miserable at both. So I can't wait to see this, where it's not out in the light, and you get to use the whole setup of the show.
Yeah, it's also it was a tough time. We hadn't been touring a lot with the band, and then playing just 40 minutes in the sunlight, and half empty arenas or whatever it was, amphitheaters. So it's nice that in clubs, we get the lights and we get the mood right. So it'll be a lot better. I can guarantee you that.
Well, that's why there were people in line at 5 o'clock in the morning. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sweetie.